Welcome to Advocation X. This is a worthy yours truly broadcast. Episode number 102, part 3 of the rant. If you have a strong stomach, stay here with us. Enjoy the ride. It's going to be a bumpy one. So, hit that like button. Subscribe. Become a member. Crush that bell so you don't miss any future content. And let me give you my disclaimer right now. There may or may not be mild language. So hide the children. Don't leave them in earshot. Don't let them peek through the door. Because this is something I'm going to leave for you to interpret. And interpret it well. Because the future depends on what the new generation learns from the older. So, the topics we're going to try to tackle here is my rant on, are you a bona fide racist or a racism contributor? So, one of the first topics I'd like to cover is the perception. Now, I want you to pay attention to this because it is a phenomenon. It's one that I witness over and over again. It's one that I've endured many times because there is this perception out there that certain things are just a given. If I say to you, draw a picture of a trustworthy scientist, I can almost predict what you're going to draw. If I said, I'd like you to draw a picture of a loving mother, I'm almost certain of what you're going to draw. If I handed you a whole bunch of pictures and said, pick the smartest person out of those pictures, of course, because you are my beautiful, intelligent, thinking people, you're going to say, how am I supposed to tell their intelligence by their picture? And I'm going to tell you, I want you to be perceptive. I just want you to use pure perception and look at those pictures and tell me which one is the most intelligent. Tell me which one is the most cunning. Tell me which one is the scariest, the most likely to lie, the most likely to cheat on his wife, the most likely to abandon his children. How about the most likely to shoot someone? The most likely to rape someone? The most likely to rob a bank? The most likely to become a lawyer? Most likely to become a doctor? Who would make the best journalist? Who do you think is the best historian in that group? Are you getting the picture? Well, you will, only if you're being honest with yourself. Because there's going to be a different set of pictures that you're going to hand me for each one of those answers. But I can almost guarantee you that I will be able to tell you beforehand, within a picture or two, variants, which one you chose for which question. Why is that? Is that because you're bad? You're a horrible person? You're just so hateful that you don't deserve to be on the earth? That you're just so privileged that it's just a horrifying situation? No, that's not what I'm telling you. What I'm telling you is to be honest with yourself. This whole world system has been put together to systematically brainwash each and every one of us into the perceptions that we have come to rely on. Subconsciously. It's not something that you choose off the top of your head. This is why, if I just sat you down and said, okay, pick this picture, you have 10 seconds to pick it. I'm not going to give you like 4 hours to think, well, maybe I should, and I shouldn't pick that one because, and I should. No, I want you to just look and go, there, that one. Just like that. You'll see how much you've been brainwashed. Ask yourself a question. Who are the most intelligent people on this earth? What race do they belong to? Who are the best leaders on this earth? What race do they belong to? Who are the best military men on the earth? What race do they belong to? When we're done with that whole exercise, pictures and choosing races and all that other good stuff, I have got some news for you. Every single one of those pictures will be coming from one race. It is called the human race. Unless, of course, you consider yourself some sort of an animal because maybe you share color with some certain animals and you wish to be of that tribe. Okay. I'm just going to tell you from my perspective, there's only one race. And let me tell you why I say that. I want you. That's right. No, really you. I want you to go to your closest sibling, the one you really admire and like the most. Okay? And I want you to put your arms side by side. And then tell me if you come from the same race. Wait a second, what's Clyde talking about here? Well, why would he be saying something stupid like that? Of course, my brother is just as white as me, or my sister's just as white as me, or my sister is just as white as me. My mom and my dad are just as white as me, or black as me, or brown as me. And I'm going to tell you, you're full of backpack. No two of you will shine the same. News flash. You are all from one race. You have different shades of that one race. One. The human race. One race. You will not find, and if you do, well, hey, congratulations. You and that person are now tribal. You are now tribal. You two are the only two in the world that actually match. Maybe there's three. Let's see if you can find them. Go find your needles in the haystack, please, for me. Because once you go looking, that means you've asked yourself the question, is Clyde telling the truth? That brings me back to perception. You don't have to wonder if Clyde's telling the truth, because if you know Clyde, he would never, ever intentionally lie to anyone. If the information I have gathered from a source is inaccurate, you want to attribute that to me and label it as a lie, I'll challenge you on that one. Remember, my channel is opinion based on facts. There are no lies that will ever come out of my mouth. I don't need to lie. You know why? I'm not afraid of you or anyone else in this world. So why would I lie? Now, let me qualify that. I'm not stupid either. Any partner of mine asks me if they look fat in that dress, I'm not going to say yes. Even if they're 600 pounds, I'm not going to say yes. I'm going to say, you know, that dress actually makes you look really good. Yeah, but do I look fat though? I'm just going to tell you that, in my opinion, you look great. Now, if you consider great being fat, well, then that's your own thing. Are you talking about fat, P-H-A-T? I will skip, dance, and spin around that question all day long. But I'm not going to out and out lie. I'm not going to say, that dress makes you look so slim. My Lord, Twiggy, step aside. That's a lie. That's a hurtful lie. Because if somebody goes out of the house thinking that they look like Twiggy when they actually look like a hippo, I don't see how that's a positive thing, to falsely prop up somebody's confidence. We have enough inside each of us that we could point it out in each and every one of us as being an asset and something that makes each of us great. And it may not be the same for every person, but you can find those details in every person to bring their self-esteem to where it should be. You don't have to resort to falsely propping them up and making them feel like they're better than somebody else. That's going to hurt them in the long run. Okay? Just saying. So perception, remember, perception. I don't lie to you. So you don't have to wonder, is Clyde telling me the truth? All you can say to yourself is, maybe his sources are right, or maybe his sources are wrong. But I'll never lie to you, okay? So, race, bull, pucky, as they say in some areas in the UK. It's a polite way of saying things that I would prefer to say. Now let me go further with that. A geneticist, one who came up as a young child, hearing from his environment, his parents, uncles, friends, sisters, brothers, that they were the top of the heap. They were the top of the food chain. They were the most intelligent race in the world. And he believed it. It was propaganda that was fed to him from the time he was a child, all through school. So all he ever wanted to do was study chemistry and biology. He wanted to prove to the world that that statement was true. That genetically, his race, people, were superior to all others. He was a brilliant student, which fueled his thoughts that, of course, he's a brilliant student because he comes from the superior race, superior class of people. So he wouldn't expect anything less from himself other than fabulous marks. Off he goes, right through school, doing an amazing job, heads up in university, and he is one of the leading geneticists in the world now. And what does he bring to the world? Through all of his years of research and painstakingly trying to hand-pick the information, he couldn't do it. All roads. Hey, you, yeah, with the hood and the sheet on, I see you. That's right. Oh, you, yeah, you. The one there that you look like Mussolini. Yeah, you. Uh-huh. Okay, I'm talking to you. Oh, you too. Yeah. Sprechen Sie Deutsch? You all came from Africa. Every one of you is genetically tied to Africa. Every single one of you. So every time you hate another person of any shade or shape or size, you're hating on your own brothers and sisters. Every single one of them. You're wearing that hood and sheet? Take it off and look in the mirror. Take a close look at your skin. I bet you're going to find pigment in there. If you're white, you might be an albino. Albinos are devoid of pigment. This is why they are so brittle and susceptible to the sun, in most cases. This is why they have no color in their eye except pink, because the pigment is lacking. I mean, if you don't believe me, again, if you think perception tells you that black guy can't ever be telling you the truth, how could a black person ever teach you anything? Do your own research. That's why I built this channel, right? Knowledge is your power. Do your research. Maintain or gain your power. So, this geneticist has determined what I've just told you. And to his chagrin, but also his delight, because it lifted a huge weight off of him. He no longer had to pretend anything. He knew his roots. He knew his roots. Now, I'm going to give you another test. Go look at all the babies when they're born. Don't they all seem to pop the same features? It's just a few weeks in or so, when things start to change and start to resemble more their closest family members. Take a look from now on. Be observant. See what I've seen. I have not met a black person yet who has the same skin tone as me. And I say black person loosely because, of course, black has been used to describe anybody of a certain shade of brown that surpasses a certain other shade of brown. So it's just a generic term. It doesn't hurt me. It doesn't bother me at all, actually. Because if I'm going to be descriptive, if I saw somebody walking down the street right now and I wanted to describe that person to you and you weren't looking, there's a person walking over there. You're like, oh, okay, so? Well, I'm just a little concerned. It's late at night. There's a person walking over there. So why are you concerned? Oh, sorry. Because the person appears to be female. Oh, so there's a young lady walking. Well, no, she's not young, actually. She's much older, but she's alone and she's walking over there in the dark. There's no streetlights over there. Oh, I understand. Oh, and she's a frail-looking, gray-haired white woman. Oh, okay. Yeah. I understand. If I don't give you a description, you have no clue what I'm looking at. No clue. So we do need some words to be descriptive in order to help us in conveying subtleties, nuance, inference. Okay, let me move on. One of my big pet peeves. I hear people all the time trying to prove they're not a racist. The more you try to prove you're not racist, I'm sorry, but it really does. It's like you're pointing away from you, but there's always three fingers pointing back at you. You need to look at that, okay? The more you keep, I'm not like him, like them, like this. I'm not this, I'm not that, I'm not. Oh, geez, everything's still pointing back at you. Why? You're feeling guilty about something. So you hear those people, I don't know what your problem is. You're just an angry black guy. MLK, Martin Luther King Jr., he was a great man, and he always talked about love everybody and be this and this. Oh, yes, he did. When he really thought that would help change hearts and minds. Did you hear his speech when people were maligning the rioters? Back then, he said that the riots were the speech of those in the community who were not otherwise being heard. Now, I'm not quoting him. That would be plagiarism. I'm giving you a capsulization of what he said in that speech. Nobody refers to that part of his speech, do they? Because that would mean that MLK understood that sometimes you can only use peaceful methods as much as you can standing. And then you have to step up to the plate. And you have to make yourself noticed. You have to make yourself heard. Do I condone busting into buildings and blowing up cars and setting things ablaze and beating up people in the streets and shooting people? Of course not. And if you are going to try to say that, save your breath. Don't put that comment on my video or anywhere else on my social media. Because seriously, I am the one who defended everyone my whole life. My whole life. Don't ever accuse me of being anything than who I am. I am who I am. Not in that respect either. Don't use that. So, using MLK as your excuse, using MLK as your excuse to try to prove to those around you that you're not racist and they should chill out, stick that up your backpack. Leave the man alone. You want to quote him? Quote him in the context that it refers to whatever's going on at the time. Don't take a comment from here and try to use it to describe something about this. And I hear you right now. I hear you. You're all there. I see you too. You, and you, and you, and you, and you over there. And you're all going, yeah, well, look at the rioting. Look at the looting. Look at the pain and suffering it's causing so many people. I say, you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right, but why are you bringing that up? Is that the main issue we're dealing with here? Is the percentage of people that are doing the looting and all these other things? Is that what the topic is all about? Oh, you're trying to cover up the topic with the rioting and the looting. Oh, I see. Now I understand. I don't agree with you, though. And I'll never agree with you. Although, if I was there, I'd be trying to stop people from looting and hurting and doing all those other things. Who was it said it best? Was it Chris Rock? I think it was Chris Rock. He said something like, he goes, he may have killed her, and I don't think it's right. But I understand. If you don't understand why people get fed up to the point where they become angry enough to do horrible, heinous things in defense of their life of torture. Do you remember that poor black girl went to jail because she shot her sex abuser? The person who had been raping her? She finally got the courage to do something and shot him or stabbed him. I think she shot him. And they put her in jail. This shows the perception, the mentality of the racist system that is systematically oppressing certain people and not others. Earlier I mentioned privilege. And I know a lot of people, I saw the hair on your back just go ping. Privilege? I don't have a Rolls Royce and a mansion. I'm not privileged. Because you don't know what privilege is. So go look it up. Go look it up. Privilege could be this big. Privilege could be you get a big gummy bear. And I'm sitting over here next to you looking for my big gummy bear, and they give me a little tiny gummy bear. That's privilege, buddy. You may not recognize it as privilege. You just think, but I'm always getting the big gummy bear. So what's the big problem? What's the big deal? Why are you guys always picking on me? It's just the normal way things work. It's part of the systemic racism that allows it to work like that. But until you get it, until you really get it, until your brain just opens up like a rose and allows all the pollination from bees and wasps and everything else that are going to drop nutrients inside of you, and now you become as beautiful as a rose to everyone. Okay, so we've delved on a lot of things right now. So you know what? I'm going to give you a break. I had many more topics to discuss here today. But as you can see, it really comes from inside of me, which is a painful place. And it's not a painful place that I cannot overcome, we shall overcome. Yeah, I've been doing that my whole life. Have you done that your whole life? Have you had to overcome every day you woke up and where you went? No. Okay, let's stop there, because I've given you enough to think about right now. And if you are a true, beautiful, thinking human being, you will give this some thought. You will be able to come to the next discussion with real, honest, heartfelt information that can help move us all forward. If we are going to stop the division that's being sown between all of us from the elitists, the ones up there that are ruling all of us, if you want to stop that, if you want to stop it, and I mean this, you can't do it by fighting against Black Lives Matter. It won't work. The only way we can stop this systematic division of people, of human beings, is if you all get behind Black Lives Matter and keep it a peaceful movement going forward. If you don't go in and do your part, stop complaining, because you're part of the problem. You're part of the division. You're sitting on the sidelines. You think you can sit on the fence and find out who's going to win and then jump on that side of the fence. It ain't going to work. I'm telling you right now, the divisions will become so deep, so ingrained, so hateful, there won't be room left on either side of that fence. It'll be like falling into crocodiles on one side, alligators on the other. Get on the right side of history. And just because you say, oh, the riots make them all bad, doesn't make them all bad. All it says is you got some people out there who are probably being paid to instigate violence and problems and damage. And then you have other people who are jumping on that bandwagon because they are angry and don't know how to express themselves with the futility that they see in front of them, of people they talk to who go, I don't know what you're talking about. And I go, well, if you listen to me, you'll know what I'm talking about, because I'm the one living it. If you're going to tell me that what I'm trying to help you understand isn't the reality, then you're the problem. And I mean, you're the problem. You refuse to see anything other than your own privilege. Open your eyes, open your heart, like that rose. Get fed. Get fed. And you're going to find wonderful things come out of that. You're going to get to experience glorious smiles, laughs, and chuckles from other cultures that you never would look at before, because you thought they were something evil. You thought they were different. They're your brothers and sisters. And I don't mean figuratively. You come from the same root. Climb up into an organic apple tree and you're going to find beautiful roots, a gorgeous thick trunk, and hundreds of different looking apples. Different sizes, different shapes, different colors, different patterns, different length stems, different number of leaves coming off the stem. Like, I don't care what you look, you're going to see I bet you that every apple is as fingerprintish as a snowflake, as a fingerprint, as an eye print, as anything else out there. Stop letting these people fool you into division. Anyways, I gotta stop, because seriously, this is a topic that we can go on for 25 years straight and never finish all the injustices and problems that are out there that need to be attacked and solved. And when I say attacked, I'm not saying it physically. You people out there who are bringing ill repute to a movement that is trying to further the plight of many, many good people. I started in the last video with saying I'm ashamed of you and that you should be ashamed of yourself. But I'm going to tell you, you're an aberration. You are not the movement. You're an agitator. You're a paid instigator. You're somebody who is unable to control your actions on the moment. And hey, wait a second. When the police or the federal troops came storming in and started running over people, women included, I'm sorry guys, but if my mother is there getting trampled by you, with your uniform or not, you're going to have one more person to trample because I'm coming after you. You don't trample my mother. Show some bloody respect. Every one of you in law enforcement, you have a duty to exercise compassion and understanding. And you can anytime be a conscientious objector. And that means if your superior says, go hurt those people, and you see peaceful women, children, and men, don't go hurt them. If you do, I'm sorry, I'm a judgy person. I'm going to judge you as being not such a good person. I'm only doing my job. No, you're not. Your job is also to use your brain. And your job is also to serve and protect those people who are not causing harm. Protect those people who are not causing harm. I don't want to hear your bullshit about, well, they shouldn't have been out there. Yes, they should be. Because you're not listening. And now that they're out there and not doing anything wrong, it's your job to protect them. And if you don't, then deal with it. And if all of a sudden there becomes armed militias all around the country, white, black, Asian, and indifferent, all coming together under one banner to protect the people from you, oh, we know what we'll see then. I watched a bunch of you sitting up in a building up above. Well, we can't go out there. It's too dangerous, man. I mean, we're not allowed to just go out there and mow them down. So we're up here being protected. Cops hiding in an office building with donuts and coffee. Yeah, exactly. That's who you really are. I've posted so many videos of good, decent cops. And if any of you cops are watching right now and have been subject to me approaching you and saying, you know what, how happy I am to see that you guys are doing your job the way it's supposed to be done, unlike, some other ones that we've been seeing videos of, I thank you personally on behalf of all the people for the good job you're doing. And they have been appreciative and happy to hear those words. Because remember, folks, yes, we're pointing out all the bad ones. But if you don't point out the good ones, they don't know they're good ones. They think, he's getting the same paycheck as me. He doesn't risk his life. He goes right away and just blows people away. I try to do the right thing. He gets the same pay as me. He gets promoted sometimes faster than me. I did a good job. Tell those people they're doing a good job. Take a moment out of your bloody day to save future lives by going to a cop that you see doing a good job and say, I appreciate you because you are doing it right. The way it should be. You are not abusing that person. You're using what you're supposed to use. Not what they told you to use. Not what your partner said to do. You're doing what your conscience and training and understanding has pushed you to do. Thank you to all you good cops out there. Thank you to all of you good military, good cops, good RCMP, good OPP, good QPP. I don't care whatever part of law enforcement you're in. If you're good, you're good. And I will be one of the first to tell you when you're doing a good job, because I think you deserve it. So, my good people, hit that like button, subscribe, become a member, crush that bell. Don't miss anything going forward. Special shout out to all you folks from Clyde and the crew, and a special thank you to our sponsor, Baden Optical in beautiful Ontario, Canada. Now, folks, remember, we never give up and we never give in, ever. But we always keep an open mind, because we understand that knowledge is our power. So we will always do our research so we never lose that power. Stay safe, folks. Stay healthy. And above all, stay as happy as humanly possible. And I appreciate you all spending time here on this channel. Share this video. Stick it in people's faces. This is my series that I should have called In Your Face series, because it is purposefully to push in people's faces. Push this video in your racist friends' faces, in your racist families' faces. And I'm not saying that that makes you unracist. What I'm saying is, you know who those people are in your community and around you. Push these videos in their face. Make them sit down and listen to the pain and suffering that has been caused for hundreds and hundreds of years. You might be part of the cure. And that makes you just a good person. All other labels don't matter if you are just a good person. Share this video. All right? Till next time. Thank you very much.